Hey guys, Ham here. Jurassic Park's Tyrannosaurus Rex is the most iconic dinosaur in all of cinema, and with that, there is sure to be more than one rendition of the Jurassic franchise's poster child. So I'm gonna rank all of them, from worst to best. Keep in mind this is my list and not objective in any way. I'm sure I'll have some shit takes that you guys won't agree with, and that's fine. I'll only be ranking T-Rexes from the canonical timeline, so no games or books. With all that out of the way, let's get started. Coming in at the number 11 spot is Junior. This shouldn't be surprising to anyone. Junior's only at the bottom of the list because he's a baby T-Rex. He's nowhere near as cool looking or as menacing as the other tyrannosaurs on the list. A positive I have to say is that he actually looks and sounds like an infant T-Rex. His roar sounds exactly how I'd imagine the Jurassic T-Rex's iconic roar to sound out of a baby Rex. But that doesn't mean it can't keep you from a good night's sleep. Junior's design finally made a reappearance in Jurassic World Evolution 3. The Evolution 3 design looks slightly more grown up than Junior. Junior's design is really good for a baby T-Rex, but it can't stack up to the others on the list. Second from the bottom of the list is Rexy's design from Camp Cretaceous. This design isn't very good. There's nothing about it that stands out as unique. It's just Rexy's look from the Jurassic World trilogy, but not as good looking or realistic. Recycled garbage if you will. Rexy's Camp Cretaceous design looks a little yellow in some shots, which makes her design look pretty bad. This segment will be the shortest since I don't have much to say about this rendition. In the number 9 spot is Big Eatie. Big Eatie's design isn't bad by any means. I'm just split on her color scheme. One part of me likes Big Eatie's colors and thinks they're very unique, but the other part thinks the dark blue and gray doesn't fit a female T-Rex. But all 8 of my brain cells can collectively agree that Big Eatie's design is held back by being made for an animated show and not a live action project. She reappears in Chaos Theory sporting the scars she got in Camp Cretaceous, which makes her look a little cooler. The only reason she's in C tier is because I'm equally stuck on what I love and hate about her design. In the number 8 spot is Little Eatie. Little Eatie's design is easily my favorite animated Tyrannosaurus design. And that's because of how simple it is. It doesn't have a unique color scheme like Big Eatie, and isn't an animated rendition of a Rex design we've already seen before. Her colors are dark brown with black stripes that run all the way down her body. My only gripe with this design is that her eyes are overly expressive in some scenes. This just makes her look super cheesy.
Look at the top of his head. Look at his lip.
This design would have slapped in live action. Too bad we'll probably never see her on the big screen. In the number 7th spot is Rexy. Now before all of you Rexy fans implode my comment section with death threats, hear me out. This spot on the list goes specifically to her design from the Jurassic World trilogy, which is noticeably different than her original look in Jurassic Park, which is much higher up on the list. In all honesty, I don't not like this design. I like it. That's why she's in B tier. The only thing I don't like about this design is how old she looks. I get that she's old and that's the entire point of her design, but it's not my cup of tea. The colors and patterns from her original JP design have faded to show her aging, and the scars from her fight with the raptors in the first film are present on her neck. Her design slightly changed in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. Her Fallen Kingdom design is skinnier and her Dominion design is slightly bulkier, but I'll be cramming all of them into one ranking since they're pretty much the same. In the middle of the list in the number 6 spot is the Prologue Rex. For those of you wondering, the Prologue Rex appeared in the cut prologue scene in Dominion that took place 65 million years ago. This particular Tyrannosaurus has no official name, which is why I'm calling her the Prologue Rex. I know this has nothing to do with the ranking, but apparently Rexy is a descendant of the Prologue Rex. Her blood was sucked up by the mosquito that InGen would use to create Rexy's genome. I prefer the Prologue Rex over Rexy's world design for 2 reasons. The first being she doesn't look old, and the second being that sick covering of proto feathers running down her back and head. This design is officially what a paleo-accurate Rex looks like in the Jurassic canon. Even though she only existed to get bodied by a random giga, I still love her design. I'm also pissed that this scene was cut from the film. Cracking into the top 5 is the Doty Rex from the Lost World. Doe's design used to be in my top 3. At one point I loved her design as much as Rexy's JP design. Her scales are a brighter, more saturated rusty brown color. We don't really get a good look at her design in the film cause all of her scenes take place at night, so I had to use behind the scenes photos and Jurassic World Evolution to get a fair ranking. I love those design but I'm not putting her up any higher because I prefer the colors of the Rexes above her.
But if you close your emotional balance, emotional balance, emotional balance, emotional balance.
In the number 4th spot is Bull from Jurassic Park 3. Bull is definitely the most nostalgic Rex for me. He's a bit smaller than his big brother and way less bulky. Bull is a muted green color and the stripes on his back are less vibrant. His head shape is a lot thinner than Buck's and his body dimensions relate more to the female Rexes who are less muscular. His animatronic was never shown on screen but they repainted the Buck T-Rex animatronic to be a lighter green. I also find it really ironic that his animatronic was decapitated by the Spinosaurus animatronic during filming. He was a part of my favorite fight scene in the franchise even though he got less than a minute of screen time. Bull may have gotten his ass handed to him by the Jurassic equivalent of a slasher.
What the fuck is this piece of...
But I still love him either way. Kicking off the top 3 is the Buck Rex from the Lost World Jurassic Park. The Buck T-Rex is much larger and bulkier than your standard Tyrannosaurus. His colors are a darker green than Bull's and the yellow stripes on his back are more defined. Buck's neck is also much thicker and has a large dewlap. The Buck Rex has a more prominent nose ridge which makes him look really badass when paired with the scarring on his face. He's responsible for one of my favorite deaths in the entire franchise, when he rips Eddie Carr in half with dough. I also love the scene where he rampages through San Diego like a mini Godzilla. Buck is the only Rex so far to be seen working with a mate which adds a lot of realism to him. Overall I think Buck's design is better than Bull's in every way. Buck was my favorite T-Rex for the longest time, but he still belongs in the S tier despite not being my favorite anymore. Our runner-up on the list is Rexy from Jurassic Park. Rexy in her prime was an absolute masterpiece. Her scales are an earthy brown color with dark brown stripes. Rexy's original design introduced the curved knife-like teeth, ridged eyebrows and alligator scales on the underbelly which would be used on every other Rex design that came after. The sound design for Rexy was top-notch. Everything from her roars to the sound of her footsteps sounded terrifying and magnificent at the same time. Another thing about the original Rexy is that she steals the show in every scene she's in. She makes brief scenes like the Gallimimus Stampede instantly memorable just by showing up. Rexy also had this kick-ass full-sized animatronic which was used in the infamous breakout scene. This design has aged like fine wine, but she is topped by only one tyrant Lizard King. At the number 1 spot and my favorite T-Rex design of all time is Ember from Jurassic World Rebirth. Hold on to your butts cause I'm about to glaze the ever-living shit out of this design. My favorite thing about Ember is his sheer sense of scale. He looks colossal in every shot he's in no matter the angle. I love that Ember's colors are completely unique. While most other Rexes are either green or brown, Ember is a golden color with ashy gray patterns and black tiger stripes on his back. Ember is chopped as hell.
Any that were malformed or just too damn hard for anybody to look at.
But in the most badass way possible. His eyebrows are more angular like the original Rexy, and has more scales around his mouth. Ember has small osteoderms scattered throughout his body and a large subtympanic plate which is seen on iguanas and classic Tyrannosaurus depictions. He can swim like the Rex from the first novel and has deep facial scarring like the Buck Rex. Ember also uses sounds from the original film and modified roars instead of reusing the same roars from the world films. He gave us the best scene in Rebirth which was the river raft chase scene. Ember was a breath of fresh air for me, since they use the same Rex design for the last 3 films. Call it recency bias but everything about his design is absolute perfection. Huge thanks to everyone who made it to the end. Drop your rankings in the comments. I'd love to see how yours stack up. This video took a pretty long time to make so consider subscribing to the channel to show your support. And drop a like if you enjoyed the video and want to see more.
Yeah.